everybody. We've got Iron Fire Horse in the house. Hey, Iron, how's it going? Um, so we've got our
Welcome then.
co-host Drew, and we have our guest Sherry. And this is an open panel today. Eli is in, and let's start off with our co-host Drew. You got anything that you want to like tell everybody about yourself, and then we'll go to Sherry.
Well, I was going to talk a bit about the new series coming up, guys, but I'll introduce myself and then we'll talk about that later. I am Drew from Drew's Abandoned Paranormal Vlogs, Scotland. I have my own channel for paranormal, and I also have my own channel which is broomsticks and pentagrams for my witchcraft stuff. So, yeah, just keep an eye on my channel, guys, for everybody that doesn't know me. And you'll always find me here beside Mystical.
Yep. And then we
I
have
don't know if
Sherry.
Sherry's right.
Sherry kind of popped out for a minute, so she might have gotten a phone call or something. So when she pops
Yeah.
back in, we'll get her to. Of course, y'all already know Sherry, but in case somebody else on Facebook or anything like that, doesn't know
Yeah,
her,
in
she'll
case they
come
don't know
in.
her.
So we're just going to be chatting about anything and everything. So if anybody, Eli, you're in here, Iron, you're in here. Um, if anybody
You
wants to
scared her
ask
away,
any
Eli.
questions, huh?
Eli said he scared Sherry away. I don't think you did, brother.
Oh, yeah, I see it. I scare her away. How dare you, Eli, Iron says. Let's get. Sherry's trying to come back in. I'm
Yeah,
clicking
there's
on
Sherry
it.
back, guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
here
just
we
a bit of
are.
an open panel tonight. Also,
Yeah.
on nights like this, our hand. There she's back. Nights like this, our handies want us to do maybe come up and ask us some questions about things you have seen in the past that we've talked about. So it's a bit of a stream to kind of get to know each other and maybe ask us questions if you want. So if there's any questions, also do that.
And since we got Sherry back, Sherry, everybody knows you that's here, but in case somebody pops in later, you want to tell about yourself?
Hello, I'm Sherry from PWI Spiritual Investigators and Paranormal World Investigators. I am a investigator and researcher of all things strange and unknown, from UFOs to paranormal. I am a witch and a Celtic Druid shaman in practice. I like to do all of the strange and the unknown. I like to do uplifting streams with music and things. So if you are somebody that is really spiritual and likes to learn about different things, then my channel is the channel for you.
All right, that was very nice.
Thank
Did
you.
we? And
Welcome in,
so who else?
Sammy.
Oh, we got Sammy in and Is it Tigus or
Sweet
Tigus?
Sammy.
How y'all pronounce?
Tiggs, Tiggs
Oh,
and
Tiggs.
Tigers.
Tiggses,
Tigs.
tigers.
Tigs.
So,
I call them
Of
ticks.
course,
well,
tigs.
I don't know
well,
why. Hello, anyway.
yeah. So welcome everybody in, and I see everybody's already hit the like, so that's great because we've got 7 watching right now.
Brilliant.
So as Drew was saying, it's open panel. Anybody want to ask any questions or anything, or tell us any experiences about yourself, what you've seen, what you've heard. If you do paranormal investigations, if you do workings, if you do spells, if whatever you do, we have always such a big group of diversity in the house that it's good to hear from other people too, because we all do kind of same things, different things. We do things the same but do it different, and so we always like
Yeah.
to see what other people do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my
Yeah, we do
journey's
like
been
to
a
meet new
bit of
people.
up and down. Yeah. I started off, I mean, my witchy path really did hit me from out of nowhere, guys. I was researching how to talk to spirits. I didn't even realise that witchcraft was on the agenda. The reason that it
Mm.
came about for me was because I reached a stage I was trying so hard to communicate with Billy, my son in law. And I was just so desperate to try and talk to him. And I had already at that point seen Santa Marta I'd called out to something to help me. And by that point, I had already seen, which I found out was Santa Marta calling out to me with open arms, with like a grandmother's love type of feeling. And even then, I didn't click on straight away that it was witchcraft on my part. It really was just to start researching how to connect to spirit more, crystals, the herbs,
Um,
the spirit. Truly, I
Yeah.
had to research
It was
what it
is
interesting.
really was.
is Drew breaking up for everybody in the chat, or is it just on my end that she's breaking up? Sherry, can you hear her fine?
To be honest, everybody's glitching, but then I've not got the greatest signal. I've not got the greatest signal at the minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can
Usually
hear
when you,
you,
that's
but
why I
Drew's
just
going in
keep
and out, and I'm
talking.
noticing I'm going in and out a little bit as well.
Yeah. Usually it
Yeah,
does
I just
straighten
carry on
itself
talking,
up.
and you'll just get me glitching.
That's it. Usually by the time it goes to the recording, it's straightened itself out. So I just keep talking and hoping that you're hearing me, guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I just
that's why
was
I just carry
wondering.
on talking.
Yeah. Since we had that really, really bad storm all yesterday, last night, this morning, I didn't know if it was all on my end, maybe if there was a technical issue on my end or what. So, alrighty, so great. We'll just keep on rolling, rolling,
Yeah,
rolling,
keep on
rolling.
going.
Yeah.
I mean, for you guys, it's totally different because you were born into this, if you like. You were already born with that spiritualness in you. With me, it took nearly having a nervous breakdown before I realised that my path was a spiritual path. I mean, even when I was a teenager, my sister and everything went to church with my cousins, but I never ever did. I've never ever been spiritual whatsoever. The only thing I've ever always done is play with tarot cards. At first, it was cards. I always had a deck of cards when I was younger, just playing patience or whatever. But then it slowly progressed that I got tarot deck, and then from then on, I just always played with the tarot deck. But even then, I didn't realise that it was part of a bigger plan for me. But I think that people listening back to this can take that part of it as well as the fact that not everybody's going to be born into a spiritual place. It is going to take a lot of things keeping happening to you time after time after time that you get desperate and want to change your life. Because I've had so much heartache, I don't ever feel happy. I always just wait on that next thing that's going to break my heart. So I don't ever try and be in a place of happiness. I try and just take things day by day because when something happens to you over and over again and it breaks your heart, you get to the point where you say to yourself, okay, that's just another heartache, and then you start to deal with things, which isn't great. It's not a good way to cope, but it's just the way that I had to do for a while. I got to the stage where I didn't put a caring bone into anything because I was always scared that it would end badly. It's only just in the past 10 years that I've started to really care about things and hope that this is true happiness and that I'm not going to have my heart broken yet again, you know? But I think that's how a lot of people will get into the craft, is my point.
Drew, you've been through a lot. I haven't even known you for that long, and from what I see, you're such a down to hey Curtis, you're such a down to earth person that some people that's been through all the heartache, all the what you've been through in life ends up coming out on the negative side, but you have taken all of that, you've absorbed it, you've dealt with it, you've spit it out, and now it's like you're a whole new person, always happy, upbeat. You always try to look at things that, brighten your day, things like that. Um, Even Sherry, I've not known Sherry that
Yeah.
long either, and
I
just from
try
the
to be. I
time,
try to be upbeat for people. Yeah.
yeah, And just from the time that I've known Sherry, where she was down also, and you were trying to lift her back up again. And it's like just from the short time that I've known her, she sprung from here to here. From what I understand, she's back to where she used to be. And I'm talking about Sherry like she's in the third person, but because I want her to know that I, from even an outsider, see such a huge difference. So, Sherry, that's great for you, girl, because I have seen you explode in what you apparently used to do, and now you're back into doing it.
Yeah, I took a
Again.
I took a major fall,
Yeah.
and I was going through some really really tough times, and it's been a battle. And it's not just with now. I've been through a really hard life as well. I've had, I have my children in care. I've been through domestic violence. I've been through a
Welcome,
lot of
Hebrew.
things. And even though I've always
Yeah.
been spiritual and I've always known who I
Oh,
am,
Jacob.
it is my spirituality that's got me through what it is. That's why I've got so much love for it. And if it wasn't for like my beautiful sister Drew there, like continuously rooting to try and get me back to who I was, I don't think I would know what I'd be doing right now. Just her belief in me and believing in who, because she's been with me for a long time now, so she knew what I was like. And for her to be rooting back to get me that way, it's been absolute. And obviously all the other
Yeah.
sisters as well. But Sister Drew,
Yeah.
she is my sister. I absolutely love her, and
Yeah.
we're meeting soon. And it's so good because if I wasn't in this place now, me and Sister Drew wouldn't be meeting right now because I wouldn't be in the right place. So we're looking forward to it. So yeah, and thank you, Sister Mystical, for
Yes.
realising that
Yeah.
as well. Thank you.
That is
I did
perfectly
put
fine.
somebody in time.
Yeah.
I did
And
put
I just
somebody in
know that you
timeout
were
in the
your
chat.
true self.
But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
Sister Drew knows me well. She knew something was up without me even having to tell her.
yeah,
She knew.
she's pretty open and she's pretty insightful on stuff. Um,
And she is phenomenal. She's phenomenal. What she's gone through in life and where she is now, she's a phenomenal person. She's absolutely
yeah.
amazing. Sister Drew is. So Sister Mystical. I'm not leaving Sister Mystical out as well. She's awesome as well. And Mr. Lee. I
All
do
the
really like
sisters
it.
in the
I've seen
company,
Mr. Lee starting
yeah.
to go a little bit further into that tunnel a little bit more. I'm thinking, oh, is he getting brave?
I said to Lee, I said, honey, how far you want to come with us? Oh no, I'm fine right here. But when we went
It would
to
go
the
so
other
far.
gravesite, yeah, when we went to the other gravesite, that was, if anybody is offended by this one here, let me know and I put him in timeout. I can take him off because us here, if you don't want to be in the chat and you don't want to agree with us, get lost. I could care less.
Oh, go
Okay,
away. There's
so
plenty other channels for you to go to.
yeah, we're just gonna take him off. I
Iron
don't I
Fire
don't deal with
If
Horse.
it's
negative.
Isn't
only,
that sis? Or is that somebody that's come
he
in?
says, if it's only,
It says that
Uh,
Iron's been blocked. It's saying that Iron's
oh,
not in your
Hebrew
room.
has removed it.
oh, so who got iron out? It
That
wasn't
guy's
me.
banda.
Okay, so
Iron
I
That
Fire
guy's
Horse was
banda.
banned
Iron
and
Fire was
their
banned and
comments
just
were
removed.
removed. And then it says Hebrew, something Camp America, lover, Jacob was banned. So he's banned and so Sister Iron.
okay, so Hebrew, the Jacob guy, I banned him because he was saying stuff. So how do we get iron on there?
I'll get her back.
Okay.
I'll just
Well,
need
my
to
advice to you,
write
Curtis,
another
like we'd
copy.
said the other day on the stream and that, yeah, like when you're going out to these locations and stuff, just be very wary of what you're doing. And like when you said to me the other day that you was going to an investigation at a prison on your own, I would not recommend you going to a prison on your own, sweetheart. Just saying that because I've been doing this for years now, okay, and I know how to look after and protect myself, and I wouldn't even step into a prison on my own. So, especially
Who
with the people you're going to see as well,
uh,
I'd
who
be
are you
careful.
who are you talking to, Sherry? Me?
Oh no,
Cut.
Curtis. Curtis is in the room. He
Oh,
said, is there any advice that you could give?" And the other day in a room, Curtis was saying he's
oh.
going on an investigation to a prison, but he's going on his own. And I said to him, I don't think that'd be a good idea because he's going to someone that was quite bad and hung yourself. I
Oh.
said, you've got to think of all the other energies there as well.
Iron, if you're still here,
Oh.
can you comment, sis? Try and comment, please.
Hey, Dobbies. Not seeing Dobbies either, even though you're saying hello, Dobbies.
I wonder
Okay.
if when I clicked on that Hebrew guy and the chat jumped, I wonder if I hit Iron instead of him.
No, he's banned. Hebrew is
Yeah,
banned, but so is
I
Iron.
did.
No, it would,
Yeah. But first, well, for the first one, I timed him out. The
yeah,
second
you
one, I
have.
bind him.
Yeah, it says
Okay.
Iron Fire was timed out by Mystical Love and Light for 300
Okay,
seconds.
so when I
It was
clicked
just a
on
mistake,
him, the
sis.
chat jumped. Sorry, Iron. When I
It
clicked
was an
on
accident,
him, the
darling.
chat
Accident.
Oh,
jumped
there,
and
she's
then
still
caught
there.
her. I wondered how he was
Oh,
able to
there's the
comment so fast.
Iron.
There she is. She's
Okay,
back in.
I'm
Says
still in.
hello.
Oh, she's back
She
now.
says
She's back in.
but she says she's still in timeout.
No, she's in the room. We can see her now.
Oh, okay.
That was
Sorry,
an
Iron.
accident, Iron. She accidentally hit you and she's trying to get the other one out.
Also, Curtis, because you went and got holy water and got some stones and things, blessed, that's not always going to save you. That it's just that some energies don't like that energy, but some energies will push through it, much like we'll push through barriers, feelings that we don't like. Spirit is the same. If I was you, I
Yeah.
would try and get somebody to go with you just to have your back, or
We had
even
this
maybe try and
conversation
go
the other day.
live and get some of
I
your
said that to you.
supporters to be in the live chat.
I think that was actually on my panel
Yeah,
when
you can't
Pops and me
always
and were
rely
doing
on
it, and we
everything.
were trying to give them advice and that. And I said to him, "Don't go on your own. Don't go on your own." I said, "But you might be getting all of your protection. You
No.
might be getting everything to keep you covered, but it doesn't mean you're going to be covered. A prison has got a lot of negative energy in it, and it's not going
And
to just be
remember,
one spirit
spirits
you're dealing
lie.
with. There's so many in there. That's not safe for you
I
to go
keep
there on your own.
having,
I
I
wouldn't
keep
even go
having
in
to
a prison on my
remind.
own."
I keep
Iron.
no
Go to
prison.
your.
I keep having to remember Chris and things. Spirits do tell lies. So if
They do.
you go somewhere and the spirit is saying, "Oh, hello, my name is Chris and I'm 20 years old. I just want to come and speak to you," and then it's telling you to come down right, come left, come right, the chances are it could be leading you into an ambush of spirits that's not so nice. Don't always believe everything they tell you. Take it with a pinch of salt.
Like, I
Be
know that you
careful.
see me go to places on my own, but that's like graveyards and the woods, places I'm used to. But if I was given an
You've got
opportunity to go
aura.
to a prison, I would never ever go to a prison on my own. As advanced as I am and as good as I am and how long I've done it for, I would never go into a prison on my own. It's too dangerous,
Just
and
read
you do need backup, because what if you got possessed or something tried to take you over? Because it can still happen with your protection there. You ain't going to have nobody to have your back, Curtis. There's going to be nobody there to like get you out of that.
Curtis, I've
You
been
know what I mean?
doing this for what, 7 years I've been doing paranormal and I'm not ready to go to a
I've been doing it since I was
prison
18.
myself.
Hey Drew, not to change the channel. Can you check on Iron? She
Even
says her other channel's still timed out. She's on her
No.
second channel.
Okay.
Sorry, Iron, that was me. I tried
Oh yeah,
to.
but because she's done the 300 seconds, it normally takes, even though she's unbanned you, it won't register that straight away. So you'll be able to come back in maybe like tomorrow, or whatever, when she's back on, and you'll be all right.
Okay,
Try
that
now,
was
you
my
should
bad,
be okay
Iron.
now because I can see
I think
both
I'm ready though.
channels now.
Curtis, how can you think that you're ready? Like, that sort of place is really dangerous. You know what I mean? As somebody that's done it since I was 18 years old, I would not even enter a prison on my own. You know what I mean? And I've done
Okay,
exorcism.
again.
what happens.
I've done
And
house
I thought we'll
banishment.
fix it after the streams.
Yeah, I mean.
Sis. We'll
Take
fix
our
it.
advice,
Hi, come on,
Lee, because you're
Deborah.
not dangerous. It is dangerous to go on your own.
So Curtis, just remember, I used to work in a men's death row prison for many, many years. If I went into a prison to do an investigation, I would not, under any circumstances, even tell them that I worked in a prison.
No.
That right there would be like a flag, a beacon for them to go. So even if I did that, I wouldn't even tell them. because I know what they're capable of. I listened to it and, was threatened every single day while I was in there. So I know what they're capable of doing now that you can't. Well, I can see their face. Sherry can, but some people can't. Hello, Diabolical Debbie.
You have to get
It, it,
used to the
it,
different
it's just not investigators on
energies. You
TV.
have.
Don't even go to these places on their own. You know what I mean? So you going on your own,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go on my own. I
it's
would
not
make
good.
sure
You
I
have
had
I
to
my
do every
try.
day.
team with me.
Yeah.
Iron, if you can, you
If you
see
think
me,
about
Drew?
it, the energies that
Yes.
you
Yeah,
get
we can
on a
see.
normal investigation are scary enough.
Okay.
You know, what are you looking for? Are you looking for the scariness? Or are you looking just to talk to spirits? Because if you're aiming to go to these places that is a higher grade of haunting, then you're obviously looking for something a little bit more scary than just talking to normal lost souls. So good luck with that, Curtis.
You fixed
Well,
it,
at the end of
Drew.
the
You
day, if he's
fixed it.
going in, he's going into the prison, but he's not just going in to talk to any random spirits. He's going to a prison to talk to an inmate that hung himself. You don't know what that guy is going to be thinking or going through. You really do need to think about what you're doing, Curtis, and it ain't just going to be him there waiting for
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
There's
so
going
he's
to be
seeking.
other ones around you as well.
He's so
You know what I
Curtis
mean?
is. Sir, Curtis is seeking that. Curtis
Yeah.
is seeking out one specific inmate. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he'd heard about an inmate that was in prison and had been going through quite a rough time, and he ended up hanging himself. And he's going in there specifically to communicate with him. And I'm like, Curtis, you don't know who he is for the starts. You don't know what he's
Oh,
capable of. And with all of the other energies, not only that, some of the prison staff in the past were arseholes as well, excuse my language, but they weren't nice either. So you've got all of them to deal with. All of them.
yeah. He needs somebody to go
Not
with
you,
him.
Mystical. You were a good person.
No, not you. I meant that's what I mean. Like way back in the past, like when before all of you guys done it right. You know what I mean? There were some horrible guards in the past. You know what I mean? So you got them as well, and you're seeking someone that committed
Yes,
suicide
I
and was in
agree.
there for something really bad. So you've got to be careful, Curtis.
So Curtis, you're saying it's a one in a lifetime thing. The jail hasn't been open in years.
Curtis,
Okay,
do
so
it. I mean, if you
so
feel it's your calling to go do it, just protect yourself, is what we're saying.
and
Sorry, sis.
yeah. Well, no, I started to say, even though it's a one of a lifetime thing, what are you gonna do when he attaches to you and you bring him home?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I said to him. That is what I said to him. Like, who's going to be there to get you out of any crap if he was to attach to you? There's going
Hmm.
to be no one there to save you or help you, Curtis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've seen that some of the bigger so-called professional paranormal investigators, and they were
Yeah.
thinking that they would never get attacked, and they did, and they brought it back.
Look at
And
Zach Bagans and all of
uh,
them.
I mean, you don't know. You don't
Yeah.
know. So is that going to be a one in a lifetime regret
I'll tell you just
when
now if it's a good
if you do
idea
it?
to ask the
I'm not
couch.
going to. I'm not. It's not my place to tell you to do it or not to do it. It's not any of our places. We're just giving advices.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
that we
I'm
can
not.
do is give advice.
I'm not
And
saying to
then,
not do it. I'm not. I'm just saying don't go on your own. Don't go on your
yeah,
own.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
And
That's what
I'm
I'm
just
saying.
saying, make sure you've got protection.
Yeah, that's
Always
like
have
that's like
protection.
my husband. Curtis, that's
Dummies.
like my husband. I know the back is haunted. I know our holler is haunted. I know the woods is haunted. I've been back there by myself, which was a stupid thing to do. But sometimes, since I can see things, I think that I'll see them before anything
Hmm.
happens. But then again, Lee reminded me. Okay, so what about all of the what about the mountain lions? What about the bears? What about the pack of coyotes? What am I going to do
You
then?
got the
So it's the
world
same thing.
upside down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
And
if
it
you
ain't just
go,
that, it's public people as well. How do you know that nobody's going to try and follow you in and do something? You know what I mean? It's not just the spirits. You've got to think about the people around you that are living as well.
yeah, we'll get
You know what
back
I
to
mean?
that card in a minute, Drew. Yeah, so it's like, okay, so you're going to go in to talk to this one, but
The
you don't
card
know
I
what the
done
other ones
for
are going to
you
be doing.
to see
Okay, go
if you.
ahead,
Sorry,
Drew.
sis.
No, go ahead. Go
Exactly.
ahead with the card.
It was the world, and it was upside down. the world upside down. And the reason I think you're getting that is because for all your path is wanting to be a paranormal investigator and go out and grab the world, I feel that it's reversed because it's to tell you to take your time. I mean, look, if you look at the world up the proper way, she's got sheets, whatever you call them, and that's to cut down things that is in your path. But you were reversed. So to me, that is to tell you to stop putting things, cutting things down in your path and take your time.
Yeah.
The person that you're going to and the person that you're going to connect with, they're going to be so happy to see somebody and feel somebody around them communicating. You're their escape route. So they're going to try and attach to you to get out of there. So I think the world reversed is to tell you, take your time, do your research, get a little bit of more worldly wiseness before you take on a big job like that. And it's only my advice, Curtis.
Yeah,
It's
and you
only
should
your
listen
guys'
to Sister
advice.
Drew's advice. Sister Drew's really good with her cards. I'm telling you, and I'm not being funny. You're a male as well, yeah. A lot of these male prisoners in there will see you as like some sort of like task because you're there. You're a male. Like a lot of them seeing another male coming in there, you know, it might egg them on and make them act differently. You know what I mean? So you have got to be careful. Like
Okay,
seriously.
look at it this way, Curtis. Okay, so
Yeah.
me working
Just be
in the
careful.
prison. Now, keep in mind, I worked in the men's death row prison, not women's. I worked in the men's death row prison. When you're inside, the inmates, how they see the world, they consider outside of that prison, they call it the free world. Okay, anything they refer to that it's outside of the prison is free world. If you go in by yourself and they're stuck there because of any other inmates for whatever reason, sometimes there's more powerful inmates that keep them in there because it's all like a gang system. You do what I say when I say, you go piss when I say, you go do whatever when I say, you don't even breathe unless I let you breathe. Okay, so you going into there, them knowing you're going to be going back out, so you're going to be going to the free world. What better way to hitch a ride to get out of there to
A
go
get
get
out
in the
of
free
prison
world?
card. You're a get out of prison card.
Yeah, that's their
Literally.
way to be out into the free world, to get
Yeah.
in the free world. That's the way that they're going to see it. So, I mean, that's up to you. Um, you if you end up going,
Just give
who's to
yourself
know
time
what's
to
going to
get used to
happen?
all the different energies.
Just because something is a
There is so
one-time
many
deal
different
doesn't
energies
mean
out
it.
there on an investigation.
Yeah,
I know, I
but
know.
I mean, I've worked in
Don't
there. I
get me
know how it
wrong, it's
is.
an
I know
exciting
how
thing
they
to
run.
happen.
Yeah, yeah. And I would
Yeah,
go. I would go, but I would have some people with me. I wouldn't do it by
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I would
yeah, I
actually
think
have
we
like
should
two
see if
other
somebody else wants
people.
to go.
Yeah, and I know you're probably going to say I can't find anybody. I can't find anybody. Well, if it's a one-time deal that they're going to be open, sometimes they say that to get you in
Yeah, there
there,
might be
but
somebody
it
standing
doesn't mean
around.
there's not going to be. It doesn't mean there's not going to be another
But that's what
time.
I'm saying,
Sometimes they
Curtis.
just play on words.
You shuffled your
Yeah.
cards today and you got the death card. The death card is always like a warning about something, you know what I mean? So,
Well, that's telling you, yeah, to
yeah,
stop and think.
yeah,
So he says,
definitely.
I hear you. Believe me, I'm going to listen to your advice. I know. I guess the owner is going in with me. Well, that means you'll have somebody with you and make sure you keep
Exactly.
your protection. So
Well, the
that's a
owner.
good thing
Exactly.
then. Yeah, that's a good thing then.
Good.
Well,
What's
that's kind of
what prison
almost.
is it you're going to, Kurt? What prison is it?
And
Yeah,
it's
I
the
am
same
getting
for
actually the same
anybody.
thing.
My point that I was trying to make to Curtis is get used to all the different energies. I'm only just now getting used to all those different energies. I don't dove straight in and went to Greyfriars, my third place I ever went. which was a pretty good awakening because I was there when it was at light till dark. So I got threw in at the deep end basically and felt the different energies. But not every investigator is going to get that. You have to go to places, feel out, and you will be able to tell. You'll be able to tell with standing there and feeling their energy, whether they're good, they're bad, they're maybe about to attack you, because you feel it. In fact, my advice to anybody is go to all the different locations and feel it out. Then that way, when you go to another location, you're going to get used to all the different energies. I mean, I can't see them and I can't hear them. Well, I'm slowly being able to hear them, and I think I hear my guides. But not everybody's going to get that either. So it's important to put yourself into places you know has got certain type of energies, so you, for your own self-being, can feel them out and get used to it. Because it's pretty scary. Because when I know there's a bad spirit around me, it takes my breath as if I'm going to have a panic attack. I now
Yeah,
know that I'm not going to have a panic attack, but I still have
yeah.
to tell myself it's only the spirits. Calm down, it'll pass in a minute. You've got to get used to all that, guys. It's scary
Yeah, okay,
stuff.
see, Sherry and myself,
Did you
we
get
can
your
pick
school
up
clothes?
we can pick up the energies that are negative, and we can pick up the energies that are fine, but we can also pick up energies that maybe they're not so fine and they're trying to trick us and they're a bad energy and
Yeah,
they're trying to pull themselves off as something different. Those takes a little bit longer to pinpoint, but if we're there long enough with just a few minutes, we can tell, hey, this isn't right. There's something off
yeah.
about it. And unless you can pick that up, you're not going to know, what
Even
you're.
with Iron Sis, she said that she was going to go camping at one and hiking at an abandoned prison here, but in Torio. But now I'm not sure. If you was going on your own, I'd say no, sis. Even if you have done it for a while, like you're a female as well. You know what I mean? So even more so, no, not on your own. Like, mate, anyone should go with somebody to a prison. Even like Curtis is saying, it's a small police station and jail. Even a small building like that can hold so much negative energy in it, Curtis. So much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be
So
careful, guys. Everybody that goes out investigating or wants to experience some sort of spiritual happening, just always be careful and go by your instincts as well. Your instincts
Yeah,
is
yeah, it's taken me
always
a
going to
while for
tell you if it's good, bad, or indifferent. Just
Lee has pushed me
make
and
sure that
pushed me
you've
and
got a
pushed
clear
me.
mind. Sorry.
Yeah. Lee has pushed me to not go by myself because I'm always saying, well, I can just go by myself. He's like, no, you're not. You're not going to go by yourself. You know. Drew, did you mute yourself or something? Drew, are you muted?
It's okay, I'm back now.
you're muted, sis.
Oh, you're
Oh, you're
back.
back. Okay.
No,
Okay, she's back.
Yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
do need to
so
take care.
I think I'm just lagging.
We're not trying to put you off. We're not trying to stop you from investigating. We know how awesome it is, but we just like Sister Mystical said,
Help you.
like Sister Drew's opening up. Sister Drew's starting to pick up on things like she said. Me and Mystical do see things and see them and things like that, and we know what can happen if it's not right. Okay, and that's why we're telling you this, because as
Yeah.
investigators and that has had experiences, we know what can happen. All of us do. You know what I mean?
yeah. So
And
Iron
just
is
because it's a
asking.
small place
The
doesn't mean
chances
you're going
are
to
the
be safe.
person that is there
And that's
opening
where
up for
I've
you
had a few people do that. They've come up and gone, yeah, but we're going to a
Yeah.
smaller place, so it's not going to be so bad. Don't be so gullible. A smaller place could be worse than a bigger one,
And to think
depending
that
on who
holy
you.
water will save you. Holy
Yeah,
water's not going to save you guys. Holy water, some energies will just push through it.
I mean, it's good to have.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say this in a way people can understand. It's good to have protection. It's good to have your pouches. It's good to have your crystals, your stones. It's good to have your powders. It's good to have your oils. But also, besides that, it comes down to you. If there's any part of you that has doubts of going in whatsoever, they're going to feed on it. Okay. Now, Curtis, I don't know if you have doubts or not. And you might say you don't have doubts, but maybe in the back of your head, you're going to have that doubt when you get in. When you take one step in, are you going to like feel that just a split second of fear? That's all it's going to take. So you have to remember that too. You are part of your protection along with all of the other things that you
Yes.
take in.
Guys, upstairs is filled with
If you watch
artifacts
all
of
of us
Native American
investigating,
arrows and head X's. See, even that Native American people are amazing,
wow,
but the past and the stuff that they've gone through, that's another
very
energy in itself.
territorial.
You know what I mean? That's another energy in itself.
And never under any circumstances take anything, no matter how small it is. Don't take anything.
Do not
No.
do
Never
it.
ever take anything from an investigation that you go to.
Nope.
So something might
I'll
not
end the
happen
hard
right
way with
away,
taking
but it's
2
gonna catch
pebbles.
you. Yeah, it'll catch up with you. Don't not
Yeah,
not that I
definitely.
was
Just remember
suggesting you
as
were.
well.
I'm just saying that would be very tempting. Especially like me, you know, Native American, and you know, a lot of my, you know, family is, you know, Aztec on my mom's side of the
The
family.
fact,
So that would be very tempting for
See,
me,
the
but I would
fact
know
is-
better.
exactly, the fact that you want to go to this location as well, it could be that spirit calling out to you to go.
Yep.
But
Manipulating
the
you to wanna
danger
do it.
around that as well is that the other entities that's there will know you're coming. So if you are going to
you
go
been-
ahead with and go, just make sure
Have
that
you
you've
been-
got your
have you been
protection,
feeling
you've got
like
the
you're being
proper
called to it?
equipment with you as well.
Have you felt like something's put into your head, like you go in there? Do you feel like something's calling you there, like it's calling you there? Because normally, if it is that, like Sis says, that is normally them reaching out to you because they're aware. What you got to remember is spirits are aware of you coming to these investigations before you even get there. They know that you're going to be going, so they're going to be waiting.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, and they'll feel you the minute you get on that grounds. They'll feel you the minute you're on it.
That's why
Yeah,
I
I
say
mean-
if he takes one step in and there's any kind of fear, they're
I
gonna
feel
pick up
though
on it.
as well as
When you're-
sometimes people always want. On you go, sis. It's okay.
Oh, I was gonna say even when they're not a spirit and they're, if say they're still alive and they're in there, anybody from the outside, from the free world that walks in, when they have any kind of fear, those inmates are like freaking wild animals. They smell, they sense that fear. That's
Yeah.
all it takes. When I went into the system, we started out with 300 of us going into the system. Within a matter of days, we were down to like 100. A matter of a week, we were down to like 50, and then 25. I was one of them that stayed because they weed out the ones that they can tell that has fear in them. They smell it. I guarantee you, they
They can
smell that
manipulate.
fear. And then they start working on you. And then the people are just like, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. They would run out crying. Someone would run out crying, or just never come back.
Oh yeah.
You know, because they would
Exactly.
they would
And
find
and you
that
have to-
one, and
you
it's
have to
like a
take
pack
into
of
consider-
dogs. Yeah.
And you have to take into consideration as well why it's been shut for so long and they've not let anyone in there. The fact that it was padlocked for years and nobody was allowed to enter, that is another warning. You know what I mean? Like, if it's been like that for years and nobody's been able to enter. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a pack of dogs. They can tell, you know.
Even
your
Phoenix
yeah.
is saying she's been getting visions and it's dangerous.
Mhm.
I told him the minute that he
Don't
said
be
the other
so
day about it, I
keen
was like, well, I was
to
like,
go
okay,
out
let's go and
there
go on
and
your own.
find dangerous entities. Yeah. You've got to build up to these things. You've got to, for your own self-preservation.
Mhm. So the reason I made it out fine, I mean, because I never showed fear.
There you go. I know
Yeah.
I talked with
I-
Sherry last about the growl that keeps happening outside my doors and windows. You're already
That's what I'm
getting
saying.
some sort of
You've
negative
already got
activity.
energy around you. Yeah. He's got an energy that's around him at his house. He's
Why
been
would
giving
you
him a lot
want
of crap,
to
and
add
we've
to
told him
that?
about how to cleanse and bless his house and to put the stones and stuff around his house, because he's got an energy that's already following him. So you've got that on top of what he's going to go and do. You don't know what's going
You're
to kick
going to
off,
have to
Curtis. You
deal
know what
with.
I mean?
You have to deal with
And
that
they'll know
first.
that you're not from there. They're going to know that you're an outsider. They can tell who's been in prison and who's not been in prison. They're going to be able to tell who that you're not familiar being in prisons and stuff. They're going to be able to pick up on that.
I'm trying to click on irons here. There.
Yeah, she was
You've
saying
got to
about
remember as well,
paedophiles,
there is. Yeah, definitely deal with that 1st.
murderers, paedophiles, kiddie fiddlers, all sorts of people in them places. Loads of people.
Mhm. Yeah, and they would tell you every day what they were in there for
I would
because they were
love to
very
go to
proud of
big
it. So,
locations and things, but yeah,
Yep, a lot of
a
them
prison
took
wouldn't be
pride
my
in what
first
they
choice.
done.
It really
A lot
wouldn't.
of them took pride in what they'd done. A lot of them found power in what they'd done. They thought that they were the best thing because they'd done that. They don't care about anything that lives on the outside. That's what
mhm.
you got to remember. You're not like them, so they won't care about you.
Yep. Like I said,
Yeah.
you guys. But I can't.
Yeah, if you have somebody to go in with you, that's a whole
Yeah, you've
different
got to be
story. And
very
just
careful. You
show
don't want
no
to welcome in any more
fear.
negative energies.
Yeah. I mean,
You
it's
don't want
Even
a
I am
prisoner.
saying the worst job she ever had.
You don't want a prisoner in your house. You do not want a prisoner. You think the spirit you've got with you now is bad. Mm, mm-mm.
yep.
Wow.
I mean, there's kind of no more
Just
words
really
to
think
say
about
other
No,
than
it.
that's going to be his decision
it's
now.
completely
That's
up to you,
I know, I
Curtis.
was
We
just
gave
about
you
to
the
say
advice.
that.
It's up to you if
hmm
you choose to listen to what we're telling you. That's up to you.
Yeah.
if I was going to
Yeah.
go in a place, let me put it this way:
Does there anybody else want any advice or anything?
yeah, anybody else? But what I was going to
That is
say
what
real
we're
That's
here
okay,
for.
sis. On you go.
Yeah. I was just going to say real quick, if I were going to go into an investigation, and we'll just use the prison since that's what we're referring to, the prison right now at the moment. If even if and I have no fear. I mean, I pretty much already know what goes on in there. If one of my team members were that I could detect and say, "You know what? I don't even want you to go in with me." Because if they're bringing in the fear with them, it's gonna be the same thing. Because now you're not only gonna try
Well,
to have to
true.
protect yourself, you got to worry about them, which puts you in a vulnerable
Yeah.
position. And then maybe they
Exactly.
didn't detect
Yeah.
that too. So if I would even like, okay, so a certain place that's very haunted, I've had my team say, "Oh God, I would want to go in there and do investigation," and I'm like, "No, no, you
Hmm.
wouldn't." No, you wouldn't, because I would not even take
No.
my team in. I would not take one of them in and risk them because I know what kind of place that is. So, whoever you're going to go in with, Curtis, make sure that they know what they're getting themselves into. And now I'll stop talking about it
Yeah.
because that's your decision. I'll just say it that way. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'll tell you what I'm looking for when I go out investigating. When I go out investigating, the only I just want to go to anywhere where there is spirits want to talk. Not big crazy locations where there's either negative energies I'll have to get past, or where there's demonic energies I have to make sure that's not following us, attaching to us. Simple places where you can go, help the spirits, talk to the spirits, find out what their experience was when they were here, and if they want to talk about it, how they died, and how you can help them. I don't want to be one of these investigators that go to the biggest, the scariest locations and demon dodge. I don't want to do that. I want to go somewhere that's nice and relaxed and talk to spirits. What about yourself, ladies? What are you looking for?
I understand, Curtis. I understand that you're saying that you're not scared, okay? You're not scared, but it doesn't matter that you're not scared,
I'm
okay?
not scared
Because you're
either.
going in there with bravery and because you're not showing that, that's going to be even more of a reason for them to want to try and toy with you because you don't fear them. They'll toy with you
It's
even more.
nothing to
They'll
do
make
with
it so
being
that you know they're
scared.
there.
It's about
You know what I mean? It's being sensible
your
and realizing
future.
that
It's about your
you need to build
future,
yourself
and
up. Like even at the
you
most
don't want
smallest
to deal
places,
with
like
that.
Sister Drew's saying, you're still going to get negative energies. So start at the smaller places and learn and build yourself up before you go to these big thing about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Kill yourself before they can
Have
do
you ever got
anything
rid of
else.
a negative
That's all you're
energy?
allowed to do now.
Have you ever got rid of a negative
Be
energy? Have you
unalive
ever cleansed or
yourself.
blessed or exorcismed? Have you ever done any of that? Have you ever banished a negative energy? Have you ever done any of that? Because if you haven't, then don't do it because there will be a possible chance that you will have to do things to keep yourself
Yeah.
shielded. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have had these experiences. That's why, like Sister Drew said, okay, because you're still going to get good spirits, but they're going to be negative, and you can learn what to do. Because going just head first into a really big place, you're asking for trouble, and especially if you've never done cleansings, blessings, or got rid of a negative energy from you or anything like that. And you are to
That's
me,
why we study the dark
you
side of
haven't,
magic as
because
well,
you come in
so
and
that we
ask
know what
me
we're up
and Pups to
against.
me,
You've
you've
got to
not
know
done
what
that.
you're up
You've
against.
not, and you haven't. You said that I have never ever done that. So why would you take that risk if you've never done that? You need to be acknowledgeable on that stuff. You
You
have
can't
to.
just dive straight in and say, that's me, I'm a paranormal investigator that goes to big creepy locations. It doesn't work like that. You're going to end up with an attachment. You've got to take each entity as it comes, figure out the ways to handle things in case you do come across them. That's why in magic we always look at the darker side, because in case it comes in front of us and we know how to handle it, you've got to know these things so that you can fight against it. Do some research and find out what you need to have on your person when you are going places.
People think,
And
oh,
it's
it's
for your
hard to
own
get
sake.
in.
It's not for our sake. It's for your sake.
Yeah, people always think, oh, it's hard for someone to get an attachment. Well, think about it. It's harder
It's
to get
not.
rid of that attachment.
It's not
A
hard to
lot
get an
harder.
attachment.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
do.
hard
It's
to get an
hard to
attachment.
yeah, it's hard to get rid of. But people think, oh, it's hard to get an attachment. No. And then they get an attachment and then they can't get rid of it because they don't have a clue even what it is to begin with. You have to know what you're dealing with before you can get rid of something.
For all you know, that spirit could already be shouting out to you because it knows it can't attach to you. And you are drawn to that place because the spirit is focused in on you. Like, you are coming here, so I can attach to
Yeah, but
you.
that's what I'm
You've got
saying.
to
You
be
don't
aware of
need
that
to
as
be
well.
going.
That spirit already
You
know
don't
you're
need to go
coming.
to
You could
places like
already
that.
be planning. Yeah.
Investigations have to be more and more daring. That investigations ain't about being daring. Like when you're an
No, they
investigator
don't.
and you're doing paranormal, the whole point is that you're wanting to
Well,
help and talk to
that's
other.
not
You're
like
wanting
kind
to
of community
help
we are.
energies. That's what you should be doing it for. Wanting to help energies, not to see if you can get to the best big place and you can get the best evidence. It's not about that. And you have to be safe.
That's not the
You've
type
told
of
it
community
in
we
the
are.
chat. You've
You're
never ever
you're in
cleansed.
the wrong
You've never
community.
blessed. You've never banished. What hope have you got if you go in that place? If you've never ever got rid of a negative energy and you don't know how to do it, what hope do you have? You don't. And it ain't just you.
But I've told you
You
what
bring
I
that.
want out of my
You bring them
investigation.
home with you. They could
What about
attach to
your
other
sister,
families.
Rochelle?
You're bringing these people out of the prison. It don't necessarily mean that them energies are going to stay with you. They could go and attach to another family. And how are you going to feel if that attaches to another family because you've been silly like that? You know what I mean? They don't just
Attached to
stay
a
with you
kid?
because they'll come out with you. They'll go off.
Yep.
Yeah, so then it's true what Phoenix is saying. We can give you advice, but it is up to you.
It is, yeah.
I've told you what type of thing I'm looking for when I go out investigation. What about you, Sister Rochelle? What are you looking for when you go out?
When I go to investigations, it's most of the time we'll research, we'll see what's going on with it, and we'll try to find out the stories of the spirits to talk to them. Maybe they want to give us messages, maybe pass on messages. Maybe they just want to be able to communicate, to talk to someone that can see them or someone that can hear them. A lot of times they don't even want to cross over because they think
Yeah.
they no longer exist. And so they don't even feel like they're capable of going on. And so when we go in with respect. We go in to capture stuff, and yes, to show other people that they exist. That is also another big point, to show that they exist. If you can't show that they exist, how's anybody going to even believe that you're even talking to anybody? So if you go to several
True.
places several times, the spirits are more open to talk to you because they already know you're going in to respect them. You're not just going in to say, hey, I got to talk to a serial killer. Well, hell, I talked to thousands of serial killers in prison. You know, I don't give a crap
Yeah.
about that.
Don't want
But
to
it's
talk to
just,
serial killers. Want to talk to
but
victims.
yeah, so it's to hear their story, to get it out there, to show, try to show proof with the devices that spirits exist, that there is something else in this dimension, you know, around us that other people never even, thought about. They're like, well, I believe, there's one person that told me one time, well, I only believe in one spirit, and that's the Holy Spirit. Well, if you believe in the Holy Spirit, then there's spirits out there. If there's one, there's more. Hello. So that's
Yes.
kind of why,
Yeah.
when we do it,
You
and
know?
why I have my devices, because I want to hear the stories. I want to pass the word on if they want to communicate. Like in the tunnel, the Sensible
Yeah.
tunnel, when that guy had died recently, and one of my team members knew him. And he came
I
through and
know.
said they found my body, and yes, they found his body in the ditch. Where he had been stabbed, he was
See,
robbed.
that's everything.
And he came through and said
Hmm.
they found my body. So, and that was showing,
Yeah.
that he was there, and so that's it's kind of like a ball of stuff, but it's not for the it's not for the fame and fortune. It's not to
No.
say, hey, I went here, or hey, I went there. It's capturing the evidence to prove, and to treat them as if they're still human, because they were obviously human. They're in spirit form now.
Yeah.
They're no longer in this vessel that
And
we
just think,
have.
when you talk to a
But
spirit for 1940, for 1400s, it's amazing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
When were you born? 1429. You're like, oh my goodness, that spirit is what, 600 years old? You know, it's amazing
yeah,
journey, guys. If you're in it for
yeah.
the fame and the fortune and to get to some of these bigger locations, then YouTube's not the place to be, because you'll not make it that way.
hmm
What about you, Sister
Well,
Sherry? What are you looking for when you go out, sis?
Well, for me,
It's okay, I'm just asking questions to fill the time up.
I investigate to give the spirits a voice and to be heard, to help them to go to the light. I'm there to help the spirits. That's what I do my work for. I
mhm,
don't want fame. I don't want to be on TV. I don't want any of that. I'm here specifically because they're lost. Some of them haven't been heard for a very long time. They've got stories and things to say. So I just want to be able to give them a voice. I want to be able to prove that, there is life after death,
mhm.
because the fact is we're all going to be part of that world one day, and I think it's very important that we have some sort of understanding about it. That's why I do my investigations, because I care about the spiritual realm. I care about the energies that I come into communication with. I know that some of them have had really, really difficult times, so for me, I do it to give them a voice and to help them if they need it, and to prove that it's there, and everything as well, when that, you know, to understand the world that we're one day going to be part of and are part of still. Even today we have them around us all the time. I don't do it for fame. I don't want to go to the biggest places and get loads of views and think I'm amazing and I'm just all up there. That's not why I do it at all. You know, investigators and people that
Oh,
come into
what? Go on the
investigations
publications.
and
I
things
don't.
should want to do that. They should want to be able to prove life after death. They should want to help the energies. That is why you should be investigating, because you want to help energies, okay? Not because you're trying to get big and you're trying to get something. Because to me, that's disrespectful when you're trying to get fame from somebody's undoing and what's happened to them. That's not right in my opinion. Even with the negative energies, you're going in there and you're saying you want to go and communicate with these guys. Yeah, they're not very nice and stuff like that. But again, they are still people, yeah. And you know, some of them are not going to respond to you
Yeah.
in the right way. Like, I'm not looking for negative energy either, but I do get rid of negative energy in that. And I do understand that sometimes some of these negative people do want to move on and want to change.
Whatever.
And so for me, it is reaching out to the other side, and it is helping them to find the light and, you know, give them a voice, because a lot of them, in all
When I
fairness, have
first realised that
walked around being
spirits were
lost and
real,
not heard. You know, that's why I do it.
when I first figured out that spirits were real, and that it wasn't just on the television, it wasn't just on films and things, that spirits were actually a real thing, I kind of set out in my mind to see one, to hear one, to experience it. And then it just so happened that all the different devastation things happened in my life. But I had never ever
Oh,
got to
Haiti.
have any experiences. But I always thought, are they real? Are they not? Are they real? Are they not? So when you figure
Yeah,
out
well,
that they are real, you just want more and more.
and if there is people like that are like you, that haven't had those experiences, then yeah, you do it for that reason. But like people like me and Sister Mystical, we've been like this since young, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've seen different energies, we've spoke to different energies, we've seen the pain and the things they've gone through. That's why I do what I do, because I know what they've been through, and I know there's other energies out there like that, and I want to be able to help them. I don't do it to keep them here because I want to keep them here. I want to send them over to the light. I want them to be okay.
2 Sundays
You know what I
from
mean?
now.
And people
Well,
will
not.
get.
Sorry. Go ahead, Drew.
It's okay, sister. You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say
That's okay.
two Sundays from now, not this coming Sunday, the following Sunday, we're gonna be doing an investigation at a place that a lot of investigators have gone to. It is a cemetery, and from what I have watched, what they have captured, um, there's a cemetery with another cemetery adjacent to it that you hear a lot of. It's like where the children were buried, where they hear a lot of the crying and or playing and stuff. One of the reasons I want to make sure I go, I want to be able to see if I can communicate with those children there, to see if they're trapped there, you know. Also, too, there's been sightings of the hellhounds there. I take it you know what the hellhounds are. And you can hear them.
Yeah, I know what hellhounds are.
And
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of hellhounds around cemeteries.
Maybe
yeah,
There's a
you
lot
want
of
to explain
and
for
hellhounds
the
around
people that
cemeteries.
don't know, though.
Yeah.
and yeah, well, okay, and okay, well, I'll get to that in a minute. And then there's a spirit there. It's like a black. Some people think just because it's a black dark spirit that it's evil, okay? And they get scared, and it actually approaches them. And I've seen it on the video where it will approach them, and they're okay. And then as it starts getting too close, they start backing off. Okay,
Right.
but is it a bad spirit? Is it a good spirit? Is that the way that it can manifest? So for me, I want to be able to go and see what is there, what I can capture, what stories I can get. Maybe it's one that wants to get their attention across, you know. But I also want to say, if it is something evil or bad, I will know, and I will know to back off, you know.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
And
Yes.
yeah, and then I know leave it alone. Maybe it's controlling all the kids where they're there and can't leave. And if that's the case, then I can pass over the kids there. I don't need
Exactly,
permission
sis.
from this other one over here, but maybe that's not even the whole case. But through
He
the
Yeah.
could be
videos that
just the
I've
gatekeeper.
seen,
He could
yeah,
be the
exactly.
gatekeeper. And I'm sorry, he's going to approach anybody in that cemetery that comes in because he protects the graves, he protects the spirits.
Right,
Yeah, I mean,
right.
gatekeepers do
They're
that.
scared.
Yeah, so we're
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be doing that one two Sundays from now. So the girls has already said, yeah,
Yeah.
they're up for it. Lee was wanting to
Good.
get one of my cousins to go with him too, because we're gonna be together. But then he's gonna be left, Hey, honey, he's gonna be left in.
Yourself.
You want to come say
Yeah.
hi to everybody? Yeah, he's gonna be
Hi,
left
Mr.
in the van, so
Lee.
he's looking. Here, you have
Hello,
to
Mr.
put this
Lee.
on so that because you. Oh, honey, be careful. Oh, it's caught on my foot.
Hello, everybody.
He just
Hi,
got done
Mr. Lee.
working outside.
Hello.
You having a good day?
Oh yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm
It's
good.
given a
Thank
dog.
you.
Careful, I got that caught on you.
I'm gonna turn my blender on so you want to shut
You
the
see, and like that as well, right,
Oh, I have
Curtis?
that on. I'll be okay.
Like what you've wrote in the room there, Curtis. You know what I mean? I enjoy it, but it's outside influences. It gets back to me that it's not scary enough. You shouldn't want to be doing it for the scare, Curtis.
Don't do
It
it for
should
the...
be because you're wanting to help.
No.
Why would you want to do
You're
it for the
doing it for
scare? That is
all
not
the
what
wrong
you want to
reasons.
be like Zach Bagans and that, go in there for the thrill seeking to get all the views, and that's not why you do investigating for. It isn't.
I do this because I genuinely, now that I know spirit's real and everything, I do this because I genuinely want to know if there's any energies out there that need help, even just to say their story. Some of them I just want to see if they know they're even deceased.
You do it
because a lot
because
of
you
the
care.
people they don't
You
know,
do it
and I
because you
care.
care.
Yeah, I care about spirits. You
Exactly.
can't do
You do it
it
because
just
you care.
because
When
somebody's
I look at
telling you
those
it's going to
spirits,
scare
I
you.
would like to think, when I help these spirits, I'd like to think that one day when I go, if that was to be me, that somebody would help me that way. That's why I want to be able to give them that chance to get.
Exactly.
Well, you got to remember, a lot of these energies, okay, a lot of these energies have not
That's
seen their
somebody's
loved ones, their
family.
families for hundreds and hundreds of years. They haven't seen their family. They haven't spoke to people. They've become lost. They've become upset, and they need you to reach out to them and help them. You don't do it for the scare thrill. That's not the right
No, you
attitude.
can't do
I'm
it for
sorry.
that. No. You'll end up with an attachment in your house, depressed, not being able to go out filming anyway, and then all the people that's telling you to go do this will all fall away and go other places, and you'll be left with an attachment in your home, depressed, suicidal, and nobody around you.
And some of the
And
energies can be very dangerous.
and
Some of the
since
energies
that's
could do things to you.
and since that specific inmate hung himself, guess what? What do you think he's gonna want to do to you? Get it in your head, get you depressed, like Drew just said, get you depressed enough that you want to do it. That's how
That's what I
they
said. They'll
work.
hurt you. They'll
Yeah,
hurt you.
that's
They'll
how
make you do it. They'll put their influences of what they've gone through on you. Okay? It's
Just be
called
careful.
revenge. It's called revenge. And they will do that. They're vengeful
Yeah.
spirits in prisons. And anywhere you go. Doing it for a thrill seek is not being an investigator. I'm sorry.
There's a
It
lot of
isn't.
those out there on
Especially when it's
YouTube.
somebody else's thrill, not yours. Yeah.
Exactly my point. And you imagine those poor
The
spirits.
thing is, Curtis,
If you're going there for thrills.
community, our community here is a spiritual community because we're genuinely in the and people missing their loved ones. I care about people that's grieving, and I care about those spirits that's no longer here. Nothing else. Not my followers, what they want. Not that my followers want anything different. All my followers want what I want. you have to find the same. You have to find a community where they want the same things as you, so they can encourage you to do the things that is good for the spirit, good for yourself. My advice would be to go back to basics and figure out what you want to do, where you want to go, what type of investigator you want to be.
I'm
Because you
sorry.
can't be an
I'm sorry. People like that,
investigator for somebody else.
when people go and do it for that very reason, that really irritates me. That really gets my goat up. I'm telling you, like, it does. It gets my goat up. Even these negative energies that you're going to, it's like taking advantage of what they've
It's
done.
not them
It's
that's
like
going to
you're,
end
you
up
know what I
with
mean?
an
And it's wrong.
attachment. It's you.
It's wrong.
If I can get those kids to
Yeah.
communicate with me at that one,
Crazy.
I'll,
Anyway, to put it
I'll
on a
put it on. I was gonna say I'll do a crossing over too and show
okay.
everybody that I've crossed those little ones over that's in that cemetery if I can get them to come forward to
Yeah.
me. But Drew, not to change the subject, but since it's we've been on for an hour, do you want to tell everybody what you have plans on your channel?
Yeah, I've got a couple of new series starting up. As you know, probably from today, I'm going to start doing the tarot every Tuesday, 7 p.m. UK time, just for an hour, and it just helps everybody keep on their spiritual path. If there's any questions you want, such things like that. And I'm going to start my new series next. I think I put it down for next Saturday. I think it's the last Saturday in August. And what it is, it's going to be called A World of Spirits. And it's basically, I'm going to get like minded people up, such as probably Sister Sherry, Mystical, and I'm going to interview them about the locations that they've been to, the type of spirits that they've found there. It's to basically prove that it doesn't matter where you go in this world, there's spirits are all around you. And some of the little cemeteries, such as the one next to me, the one next to Sister Sharon, whatever, anybody else, can be just as haunted as some of the big locations. And it's basically giving a platform to all us creators to come up and tell us about some of the experiences they've had in the small locations. And if there's anybody, such as myself, that's had the same experience, to prove that it doesn't matter where you are in the world, that the spirits are just the same and they're seeking the same thing. So it'll be an ongoing thing, and it'll be called Spirits. I've forgot it again. A World of Spirits. And it's just really interviews, guys, and you come up and show us some of your evidence. So watch out for that, because I want to get each and every one of you up that is a paranormal investigator, so that you can show us a bit of your favourite areas and things. So
Great.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to that because, like you say, our spirits here really aren't any different than any other spirits because they're a spirit. I mean, when they were alive, who knows? They might have lived here and they might have lived there. It's the same, it's the same thing. So, yeah, that would actually, that's going to be very, very interesting. So that's
Be
cool.
good.
Yeah.
And we're going to go back to basics as well on the witchcraft stuff. What I was planning on doing was starting it off on my channel, but it will go around all the witchy sisters. So such 1 week it'll be my channel, the next week it'll be Sherry's, the next week it'll be Mystical's. And it's to go back to basics about the witchcraft and how you practice, or the guidance of how to practice,
Or in my case, the spiritual being doing workings.
Mystical's. We're just going to... so yeah, it's a bit of that, just to help all the people that's maybe wanting to just get a bit of guidance on how to set up an altar, how to pick a deck of tarot cards. Back to basics, basically.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, honey. He's opening the door for me to give me some air. Thanks, honey. Normally I say, thanks, handsome, or thanks, sexy, and then he's like, Because I say I want to embarrass him. He's like, yeah. So Sherry, do you have anything coming up soon on your channel?
If you remember correctly, Sister Sherry and I've always had a witches show, but we've never ever managed to get it from one stage to another. It's always ended after like maybe the first 5, 6, it goes in a different direction. So it's to get back to those teachings, you know, and we'll do it on different channels so that everybody benefits.
Yeah.
What you saying, Sis?
For me, I am doing like my more professional meditation stuff on my channel. I'm going to be bringing back and starting up what I've always been destined out to do, which is actually helping people to learn about how to use their spiritual abilities and how to do it safely. So I'm going to be bringing a lot of that back onto my channel. My interviews are coming back and are starting this Saturday, my interviews. And I do know that Eli, you wanted to come up, so the 19th would be fine. It's going to be anything between 8:30 and 9 for people in the UK, if it's anyone that comes from the UK, and obviously for the people in the USA and other places, I will go on a little bit later, about 11-12 o'clock. So if you are still up for coming up on Saturday, Eli, you will be my first. I am wanting other people like Sister Drew, Mystical, and people like that. They have said that they would like to come up as well, so I will be doing that. Brother Chris, you know, so interviews, my meditation stuff. I'm going to be bringing back all of my uplifting streams as well, because I really do think that I need to be keeping that positivity in the community. I do want to be like here and there doing my card readings again, and like I said, my main aim is to be learning people with spirituality and stuff like that, understand them, and obviously doing the workings with Sister Drew and Mystical as well. So there's a lot of new stuff that's going to be coming out, so keep an eye out.
And remember,
That's it, guys.
I want to say Drew started up her Etsy shop, and check out her Etsy shop. Drew, do you have it in your about section, right, or your description or something in there normally?
I think I've got it here.
And even though she's just getting it started back open again, and she has a few items on there, just remember, all you have to do is just hit her up, give her a message, let her know what you're interested in, and she can make it. She can make it for you. Now, she doesn't ship to the United States. I ship only in the United States. I don't ship outside the United States. So Drew's kind of like passing the message on that if you're looking at my Etsy shop and you see something and I don't ship, look up Drew's. Look up Drew's, because even though she doesn't have it on there, I can tell her what it is and she can make it there, and then you can just purchase it, from her there. Because she's trying to get it started. So even if you go on there, favor her shop, because the more traffic she's got coming on, the more it's going to start moving. Because the way Etsy works is, if right at the beginning it's slow, because people only want to buy from somebody that has a lot of sales. They know they're legit, and they're reading all of the reviews and everything. But it's hard for somebody getting started because they don't have that yet. Go on her shop. Go on there and favor her shop and stuff like that, so that it can get, pushed in that algorithm more.
Please.
But also remember, if you're interested in something, when it comes to Etsy, if you look, and if you don't want to buy from Etsy, don't message her on Etsy. Okay? Same way with me. If there's something in my shop, don't message me on Etsy if you're not willing to pay and go through Etsy. Once you message on Etsy, we cannot sell to you outside of Etsy. We will get kicked off Etsy. They do look at messages, to see if that is going on. But you can look on there, and if you don't see something, and if you want to buy from her, then you can message her on Etsy. She'll come back. She'll, comment, tell you if she can make it and everything. And then the sale goes through Etsy. If you don't want to go through Etsy, look at something. And if you don't want to go through Etsy, then message her privately off of the Etsy platform. Message her, tell her what you want and stuff. Then she can, she can set it up. She can look and see how much the shipping, everything is. Then she can, have you pay
Yeah.
for it. She'll make it, and then she'll ship it to you off of that platform. And that's very important. People do that to me all the time. They message
Yes.
me on Etsy. Then they watch my videos, and then they'll send me a message on my email wanting me to ship it to them. And I tell them, you have to purchase it off Etsy. If you want me to
Yes.
ship it
In
to you off
trouble.
Etsy, don't message on Etsy. Don't,
Yeah.
just look at the products, make your notes and everything, and then you can deal with me, through like email. So do her the same way, because then we don't want to get kicked off Etsy. We've worked too hard to try
No.
to get everything going. I've been selling
It's
there
hard
for a
enough.
while. Yeah. And so, but we're working together. So whether it's somebody,
Thank you, guys.
outside of the U.S. or inside the U.S., then we can get it, taken care of.
Definitely. And I'll do the same if people in the US. I'll make sure that they're sent over to Mysticals.
Yeah, check them
Yeah.
both out. They're both awesome shops and stuff.
Yeah.
And Curtis, like, I get that you're saying that you've had your paranormal experiences since you were a boy, but people don't believe you. It doesn't matter what other people don't believe you in.
Stop
You don't
putting
do
what
it for that
people
reason. You don't go out
believe.
there seeking and doing all of this because you're trying to prove to somebody else. You're doing it for yourself and for these spirits, not anyone else. Okay?
No.
We've
Yeah, and
all
see-
been,
People are so negative
targeted.
and
We've all been
non-believing.
told
It's not
things. We've all
funny.
been told we're not real. But do you see us take any notice of that? No, we carry on being who we are because we're true to ourselves, not to anybody else. We're true to us and to the spirits. That's it.
And you want to be part of this community, Curtis. In this community, we don't call anybody a liar or we say that anybody's faking anything or not real.
No.
In this community, you will get all the questions answered that you want. Answer all the questions that you ask, and we'll give you advice. It's totally up to you whether you take that advice. But my
We
advice
Exactly. I hope
to
you
you
don't
is,
think. I hope you don't
let
think
the
that
people
we're
that's
saying
telling
that
you
you're
the
fake.
negative stuff be around.
We're not telling you that we think you're fake,
No.
Curtis. We're trying to give you advice because we care and we know how dangerous it can be. That is all we're doing. We
Don't
do that to
surround
anybody.
yourself with people that's saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
if-
tell
if-
we
Don't
talk to a
surround
lot of
yourself
people
with
about this.
people that's not backing you up.
You
You've got to have people behind you that believe in you and aren't.
Curtis, if somebody thinks you're fake, don't mention it to them. Don't ever say it
Exactly.
again. You'd be surprised how many people look in my van. I've got the deal out there for the paranormal investigation, and they look at it. Sometimes I can see it in their face. They're like, and rolling their eyes. You think I care about them? No, I don't care about them. I
No.
can care less about them.
No.
I get it every
if
day,
somebody
guys. I get,
wants-
look
if
I
at
get
the
it.
ghost hunter.
I've had a lot of crap on it. I've had a lot of crap on it because of my abilities and stuff like that, and I don't take notice of it. There's no
I'm in
point.
a small Scottish town. I get shouted at all the time. Drew, where's the ghosts? Do you know where you've gone ghost hunting? Do you want to know what I do? Yes, I am. And I walk on with my head in the air.
Yeah.
Don't matter what other people
But
think.
it's
It's about
ignore
you.
them. Yep, ignore them. It gives me more encouragement to go prove.
I
Yeah.
look at it this way. One
I
day
think
they're gonna
I'll
know.
prove.
Either when they're still alive, they're gonna figure it out, or when they're in spirit form, they're gonna know then. Oh hell, I was wrong the whole time. So, people are gonna believe
Exactly.
it. We've all gone through it. It doesn't matter who believes you, who don't. You be yourself. You do
Surround
what you want
yourself
to do.
with positive people.
If you ask our advice, all we can do is just tell you our experiences, and then you just take it from there. We're not going to lie. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're going to tell you what we know, what we've experienced, as that's all we can do is tell you. After that,
Exactly.
you're on your own after that. Whatever decision you take, because you have your own path to follow.
It's not that we don't believe in you. It's that we want you to do it the right way, Curtis, and we want you to be safe. That is all we're telling. We would say this to anybody. We're not just saying this to you. We've said it to loads of new
It's
people that have
not
come
meant
over
to
to
be
the
as
community.
hard.
You know
It's
what
not
I
meant
mean?
to be as hard as you're making it. It's meant to be fun
No, it's not.
and a
It's not
passion.
meant to be.
Mhm.
You do it
Yep.
because you want to do it, and it's something I cannot. When I know that I'm going out investigating, I'm happy the rest of the week because I know that I've got a purpose come Sunday, and I know that there's probably spirits I'm going to help in a Sunday night because that's where I do my crossovers. So all week I prepare for that.
Yeah, fair enough,
Surround
Curtis.
yourself
Like you're
with
saying,
positive
my
people.
spirit is strong, but no spirit
Everybody does.
is incapable of being broke down. Even the strongest of people can be broke down if they're not doing something right. Okay, remember that. Remember that.
Be
I've
true
gone
to
through it. I was
yourself
a
and what
strong
you
pillar
want.
on it. I was a strong pillar on it. I've influenced and helped a lot of people, and I went through one of my most darkest moments the last couple of months, and Sister Drew and that helped me to get out of that. Believe me, you could be the strongest and the most open person. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you can overcome everything. Just take that advice.
You have to have people behind you that believe in you and are there to root you. I wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for Mystical, Sherry, Dobie, Iron, Phoenix, all my witchy sisters. I would be nothing.
Exactly,
It's
same as
all
me.
them and
I
Mum
wouldn't be.
Danny.
I wouldn't be either. You know.
You've got to believe in your friend. And I try my best to encourage these guys as well. You encourage people and they encourage you, and you don't ever call anybody a liar because you don't know what they've been through,
Mhm.
you know?
And just to say, just to put this into, like when you're doing investigations, and if you see something, that doesn't mean everybody sees it. Some spirits only
Yeah.
want you to see it. You can capture stuff on your video and know it's there, and then nobody else can see it. If Drew,
Hmm.
Sherry, myself went on the same investigations together, I guarantee you there would be things Drew would see. Well, Drew would sense. And me and Sherry might not be able to see it, or Sherry would see it,
Yeah.
and I would be like, "What are you looking at? I don't see it," or I would see it, and they would be like, "We don't see it." It's because it was not meant for anybody else to see except for you.
And we're going
So
to
keep
find that
that in
out. We
mind.
are going to find that out when me and Sister Drew turn up. You're going to be seeing
Yeah.
Sister Drew picking up on things. Then there's going to be me wandering off to following the spirit, and she's like, "What the hell? Where's she going? Like, come on, Drew. There's somebody over here."
Yeah,
Well, oh, the great guys. Uh-huh.
yeah. So just
Paranormal
Anyway,
keep
should be
that.
fun. Okay, paranormal
yeah.
should be fun and exciting, but at the same time, there is a serious side, and the serious side is helping and listening to those
Serious.
spirits. Okay,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
get more
It's all about the
respect.
spirits. One
yeah,
day you're going to be a spirit, and
yeah.
you might have to call out to somebody because
Yep,
it's about
yep. Just
helping,
remember, you get
giving
more
back.
information from respect than you do. They'll know if you're going in to respect them, to actually feel in your heart you want to talk to them, versus going in and you want something that you can put on YouTube to make you really big. You know, the excitement, the
I
thrill. They're
know.
gonna know. They're gonna know that, and they're gonna sit
It's
back.
not about that. It's not
Yeah,
about being big
they're
and
gonna they're
whatever.
gonna sit they're gonna sit back. But if you go in with a good open heart, wanting to help them, they will come forward. They will step forward because a lot of them are scared and they will stay back. So just remember that.
You don't get
So
respect from them if you disrespect them.
When
You
I'm
need to
going out
respect them.
investigating, when I'm out investigating, I have a take charge kind of mentality in my head. It's because I've got to stay strong. I've got to stay
hmm
focused on what is in hand. I can't start letting myself get emotional about the kid spirits that may be around and things. You've got to have a leadership kind of attitude, especially
Yeah,
when you're crossing the spirits and things
you
over.
do. You do. Like you're gonna feel, you are gonna feel it, but like Sister Drew said, you do have, like, when you're out investigating and then that, yeah, you do have to be strong spirited. You do have to be, yeah, but there is a right and a wrong way to act. Okay, that's the simple
Yeah.
fact. Okay, yeah.
hmm
and you'll get so
Even
much
when I
more
crossed
evidence.
those spirits over on Sunday, I felt like crying. But I couldn't let myself cry because if I did, then I was letting myself be weak. And I've got to stay strong in order to keep doing what I do and cross the spirits over. And I will get used to it and not cry. But right up until that day comes, I'm always going to still have that little bit of emotion in me.
Yeah, well, you have to have emotion. I mean, when I do crossovers, I hold back tears toward the end when I know that they're crossing. Because once you even start talking to them for them to come in, when you tell them there's food there for them to bring their energy up, they're already coming in. They're coming in by the droves. You know, they're lining up and stuff. So
Yeah.
by the time you get to the end, you're holding back all of your tears. Like right now, I'll try not
Yeah.
to start because you know it, you feel it, you know you can see it. So it's very very emotional.
It is
Yeah.
emotional, and I've done it. I
Mhm.
cried on one of mine,
Mhm.
but that was right at the end. And sometimes it's
Yeah, it's
not
always
bad.
at the end.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's
because
not bad to show your emotions. It's
Yeah.
not bad to do that. It's just because it shows that you care. It makes more of
yeah.
a connection with them. But obviously, when you're out in
Yeah.
places and you're doing really big things like what you're going on about, Curtis, yeah, it is important to be really strong. But just know, like, these
Yeah.
spirits, they don't come to talk to you because they want to make you big. They want you to help them. They want you to
Mhm.
Yeah.
talk to them. They want a voice.
Think about that. See those
Yeah,
spirits
I'm
we
telling you,
crossed
some
on
of the things I've
Sunday?
seen these spirits. I see I
Think,
see a little girl the other day with two broken legs that came here. She had two broken legs and she had half of her face slit.
oh,
Okay. You see some horrible things in them, yeah. And sorry, I'm choking up because it is horrible.
Mhm.
Okay. But when you've got the passion and the love for it and you know that the right thing is to help them, it's the most rewarding thing to do, guys. Yeah. It's not about
yeah,
trying to make yourself big. It's about helping them. Okay. Because you don't know what they go through. They suffer so much
yeah.
They've been
being here.
abused. They've been
Okay.
tortured. You know, they've been
And
Those
you should know how to
spirits
help
that
them.
we
discarded.
crossed on Sunday, exactly.
Uh,
Those spirits we crossed on Sunday, the ones that were still battling between each other, they obviously didn't even know the war was over,
Yeah,
and they probably not seen their family for what? When was the war between England and Scotland? Way back in the 16th century. So those spirits haven't seen their family for over 400 years.
that's what
You
I'm
know,
saying. And
mhm.
you imagine how lonely they are, how
crazy.
lonely and lost they are, and they're reliving everything they went through. I had a gentleman that came here a few weeks ago, right? That was in the war, and whatever. And I was doing something in my kitchen, and I dropped something. I've never seen somebody fly under a table so quickly because he thought he was still in the war. He thought that something
Oh,
had dropped in front of him, and he
yeah.
Mhm.
See, that breaks your heart.
get down, like because he
Mhm.
Yeah.
thought he was still in the war. You know what I mean? Like they go through so much stuff.
Yeah, that breaks your
Came around
heart,
a man in
guys.
the front
When
and I said,
that
like,
happens.
mate, it's okay. You're not in the war anymore, darling. I'm going to help you. You can go to your family. You're not in a fight anymore. But they don't realise that.
That is
They
iron.
don't realise that.
It's amazing.
And it's heartbreaking to
It's
see
a
that.
great journey,
And
guys.
you
That's
do,
why
like
my
Mystical said,
advice.
like, it's like what Mystical said.
That's why
Like,
my
when you
advice
can
is always going to
actually
be
physically
protect
see them,
yourself
you
but
see
enjoy
what
it.
they went through. You don't just see a spirit standing there. You don't just see a spirit
I'm
standing there
glad I
waiting
don't
for you to
see them
help
if
them. You
that's the
see
case.
every traumatic
Yeah.
moment they went through when you can see them. You can see everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad I don't see them if
Yeah.
that's the case.
I
That
think
it
every
breaks my
one of
heart
us
every
that
day.
does, I think all of us that does crossovers always has tears toward the end. All the time because it's
Yeah.
extremely emotional and
Yeah.
heartbreaking. It's
You can't
heartbreaking,
help
but at
it.
the same time, you're happy that they're crossing because they've been. Some of them's been here
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
years and years
You
and,
feel
and
uplifted.
years. Yeah, and and I said it on one of our
Yeah. You
other
feel
lives, the one
pride
that
after
did.
it.
Yeah, and the
But
I
what you've
said
got to
it
think, like
before.
with
Go ahead.
Well, like with me, like I will sit and talk to those spirits for days on end, and I'll hear some of the most horriblest stories they've gone through. You know what I mean? And then you'll see them on that day, and you're standing there, and you're at the altar, and they're waiting to go for that light. And when you
Oh,
see
Hatchie.
them crossing into that light,
Oh,
and they
hi,
turn to
Hatchie.
look,
Hi.
you see them standing there, and the light comes, and you see them turn and look at you, and you see for the first time them smile, because they know that they're going home. And when you see them meeting up with their family, that's what gets you. When you see them meeting with the family, you see them connect with them, you see them smile to you and say thank you for helping me. Like, it's such a beautiful feeling to feel, but at the same time it's so emotional,
Yeah.
because I would hate to be in their way and be stuck for all those years. You know what I mean? And it is, because
Yeah.
you hear so much from them. They'll tell you everything about them. They let you know about them. And when you get there and you're lighting that light up, you can see them standing there patiently waiting. And then you'll see them going into that light, and you see them suddenly smile. You see them smile because you know that they don't feel that pain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's a great journey, guys. It really is. That's why just enjoy it as well. When you're out on an actual investigation, feel every stand. I do now what Mystical told me to do, and stand and feel every single thing that's going on around you. Try and hear everything that's going on around you as well. And slowly by slowly, every investigation you go to, you'll be more open. And enjoy it. It's great. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There's
because
nothing better than the
some,
spirit box saying your name.
It's the most
Mhm.
bestest thing in the world. It's
Yep.
the best thing in the
What do
world
you
if you
think,
do it the right
Mystical?
way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna ask everybody, if they don't have any more questions, we're gonna be letting everybody go. We've been on for
Well,
an hour
Leah's
and
back to school
31.
tomorrow. Whoop, 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 whoop. Sorry.
Okay, I missed that whole beginning before you started dancing. So you want to repeat that and
Skills
then
are back. Skills are back.
what's back?
I'm excited the skills are back, guys.
Yeah, kids are going back to
Just a little.
school. School holidays
Oh,
are
kids
over.
are
Mummies and
back.
daddies have got
See,
freedom.
I understood Sherry. I couldn't get that out of you, Drew. I couldn't get over the dancing part, but I understand because Sherry got like this and said it.
Yeah.
Kids are back. Well, I don't know. My kids are all grown and everything. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
but so you'll be able to get a little bit more peace and quiet to do what you need to do. I've got a working
Exactly.
coming
Freedom.
out. Yeah, school is
Freedom.
back. Phoenix is telling me school's back.
Yes.
Well,
I've got
Drew,
a
when you
list.
were on earlier, I told Lee, I said, "You want me to put my headset on?" When we were in the front room, I was on my phone. He said, "No, I'll listen to her." So after about 20 minutes, Lee was like,
Lee.
"Honey, you're just gonna have to tell me what she's saying because I still don't understand her." And I said, "I'm amazed that I can understand her now." But with you doing the dancing, I was like, "What?" See, you were moving. I couldn't get your mouth good enough because when Sherry got close, I could see her mouth. Yeah, Scoo's back. Yeah, that's so
Back
funny.
again.
Yeah. So I'll get back to doing my
Hatchie, we're just
spell
going as
working.
well.
What?
Yes. Mystical
So
is back doing spell
yeah.
workings on our channel, guys. Remember, look out.
Now
It's,
remember,
even
my
if you don't need the stuff that she's showing you, write it down in your book of shadows. You maybe need it another day, and then you'll be wondering where the video is. So any video that comes out, I just automatically put it in my book of shadows now, because it saves me having to go back and search for it
because
if I
I
need it.
do all kinds of workings, and like Drew says, whether you need it or you don't, it's going to resonate with someone. This I'm gonna try to get it done tonight, maybe tomorrow. See, the way I have this set up, all my computer stuff is here. So when I get ready to do that, all of this has got to come off so I can put, the stuff right here, which I got this right here for my phone. You can see it here in the corner. But it's going to be working on, all of us know someone, whether it's in a workplace, whether it's social media, whether it's family. We all know that one person that is deceiving, that's trying to get over on you, trying to be money hungry.
Yeah.
All of this stuff, we all know that one person. The working I'm going to be doing, the spell
Yeah.
working, is to show you how to bring the person out into the light so everybody can see what's going on. Some of us, with our intuition, some of us can see what's going on. We're out of the circle. But people inside that circle, sometimes they don't always see it because it's being camouflaged, you know. So the working is going to be for the one that is being conniving and all of this stuff, for the people around to see whether how he's being, how she's being, whoever the one is doing that, so that they can see. I'm trying to explain it so that, in other words, whatever is
Will be
bubbling
revealed
them,
to them.
so whatever is bubbling them so that people can't see is going to be removed so people can see their true self. How they
Yeah, a
really
revealed spell.
Right. That's
are.
the 20
Yeah.
Yeah, a revealed
So
spell.
that's the working that I'm gonna do, because you know, even in a workplace, you have these people that's all nice to you in front of your face and everything, and then you know, as soon as you leave, all the gossiping, the lying, the conniving stuff starts.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
gonna be so that veil is moved off of them and everybody can see their true side. That's the one I'm gonna be doing
Good
next.
spell, guys, to have in your arsenal.
It is a good one. I'd done that on some people on YouTube when I was getting some crap, and they revealed, and people see them for what they
Well,
were.
that's it.
So,
That's the thing people need to
Yeah.
remember. We are witches, guys. We are going to use the craft for things that we need to use the craft for. So be warned is my
Exactly.
way of telling people.
Yeah. So, you know, some of them might be pertaining to travel, some may be love, some may be just everyday stuff, you know, protection, whatever. It's just going to be different things, which I've always done that. Just whatever I feel like, sometimes my spirit just says, you know what, you need to do this working. And sometimes I'll ignore it and it just keeps on, keeps on, keeps on. So then that's when I know,
So somebody
okay, I
needs
got
it.
to do something. Yeah, somebody out there needs it. So, all right. So if it's okay with you guys, we'll go ahead and call it a night. And Iron says, "Yep, I know all about those kind of folk." Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, guys, we have
So
got KJ Hauntings coming to Mystical Love and Light. It's not next week, it's the week after, isn't it?
something like that. You'll
We've
have
got
to give me
KJ
the
Hauntings
exact
from
date
Ireland
whenever.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when was the?
I think it's next. Not next week, the week after.
Okay. Alrighty. So everybody, we're gonna let you go. Thank you all for coming in. And I'm turning red because it's hot in here. I didn't want to turn the air on because we're running the. We don't run the
Yeah.
central air. We're just running the air conditioners. If we run
Oh,
more than 2 air conditioners, everything cuts off. And
Right.
I'm
now
not
we
on
got
about
the
them,
front
Evie,
room and the
sweetheart.
bedroom. Yeah. So.
I'm not on
it's
about
hot in
them.
here.
I'm not on about them people that I done that on.
Be
It
safe
was
in the
somebody when I
storms.
first started on YouTube.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
somebody else. Yeah.
There's somebody else when I first started on YouTube. I haven't done anything with anybody that's been recent. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't need to. They do that themselves.
We wouldn't tell you. We wouldn't tell you if we did. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye,
All right, so
guys.
everybody, we're gonna let everybody go, and thank you, and we'll see y'all on my channel again. Well, on live next Tuesday, but I'll be doing that one. I'm trying to spread out my stuff like every few days instead of doing 3 on one day and then nothing for a week. So.
She's making us wait.
Yeah. Love you all.
Alrighty.
Love and
All right,
light.
bye everybody.
Bye, guys.
Blessed be.